Hey guys, Tran here with you again on my next Tackle Tip Tuesday installment. On this one, I wanted to go over with you how I choose the profile of my soft plastic flipping creature bait. Size does matter. When fish are feeding, the bigger the better usually. But on those high pressure, finicky days, sometimes it's just better to downsize. So this is my thoughts on choosing a flipping creature bait. I love to flip and pitch big creature baits, small creature baits. I don't care. My favorite way to fish is just like you've seen us in all of my previous videos, fishing videos, is pitching that creature bait up under buckbrush, skipping it up under buckbrush. Man, I just love it. I eat that up. So how do you choose between a beaver style, something a little more crawl-like, or something real fine like a Zoom Baby brush hog? Well guys, I'm going to start out with this dude. This is my jam right here. This is a Natural State Lures Swamp Demon in watermelon red. There's another company called Rip Lip Soft Plastic that also makes this bait, because this is a mold anybody can buy. Either one of them's great companies. I choose to now use the Natural State Lures because I'm from Arkansas and I want to support our Arkansas company. Watermelon red, Bass Pro Crack Crawl. I love the Bass Pro Crack Crawl. I've caught my personal best on this bait right here. This is a great little bait. This bait is flimsy though. It's usually good for one fish and you're going to lose a flipper. And if you're around brim, oh, they're gonna hammer these things. You'll go through a package of them in a day. And then, of course, the all-time favorite, the baby brush hog. So, how do you choose? Okay, I'll give you an example. One day, me and a buddy of mine were fishing on Lake Columbia, and we were going along flipping the dollar lily. I was flipping the Bass Pro Crack Crawl. Matter of fact, this is the day I caught my personal best. He's fishing a brush hog. I caught 3 fish to his 1. And he couldn't figure out why he wasn't getting the bites that I was getting. And I think it was just they were looking for a little bit bigger profile that day. And you say, okay, well, you beat him out of the front of the boat. You got to the fish first. Well, I've taken that same guy fishing with me and same bait set up. I'm fishing the crack crawl, he's fishing the brush hog. And he beats me 3-1 out of the back of the boat. And I'm being hard-headed and going, I'm not fishing that brush hog. I want to fish my crack crawl because I caught my personal best on it. But why did he catch more fish? Because they were more finicky that day. It was a high-pressure day, and they wanted that smaller profile. I don't like to give away too many secrets, but guys, I have a place that I love to go, and I don't know if anybody else has found this, but I don't mind sharing it. Felsenthal, this don't work for me. This big profile, wide profile bait that I love so much don't work for me on Felsenthal. This don't either, for some reason. I can catch 2 to 3 times the number of fish flipping the baby brush hogs than I can either of these other 2 baits, because it seems to be at Felsenthal, the forage that they are feeding on, it must have a smaller profile. So this is how I'm going to start off. I'm going to start my day flipping that big boy because I've got tons of confidence in him and I love flipping that big bait. Now, I'm not getting into cold water versus warm water movement in this video. I'm just strictly selecting profile. So I'm going to start off with that big, meaty profile, high profile bait. And if I hadn't got a bite in 30 minutes on really high percentage areas, which I feel like I'm pretty good at getting bites pretty quickly, then I'm going to downsize. I'm going to go to my next size down. I always have these 3 lures, these 3 types. I have a beaver style. I'm always going to have Bass Pro Crack Crawls and brush hogs. So I'm going to drop down to my crack crawl. And I'm going to fish it 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. If I don't get a bite on it, or say I start getting some bites, but they're real finicky, I'm going to drop down to that brush hog. And generally, I'm going to start getting those bites and catching those fish. Now, what happens in that situation, sometimes you find the fish are really small. And you may need to reevaluate your game and go, you know, if you're looking for bigger fish, you may need to go find those bigger fish, because chances are they're not there if all you're catching dinks on this little dude. Not saying you don't catch big fish on brush hogs. You do. But if you're just catching a bunch of small fish on it and you weren't getting bites on those bigger baits, and chances are there's only small fish in the area you're fishing, which I don't care. I love to catch fish. I'm out there to have fun. I don't care what size they are. Now, granted, yes, a big old 8-pounder, she's tons of fun. She's more fun than a 2-ton honey bun. But I just love to catch fish. All right, so I got one more to drop down for you. And you'll see this in about the 4th video I posted. I'll link that here. We're out and fishing, and we're not getting bites on any of those baits. And I'm just like, you know, I know the fish have to be here. And I could see fish moving in the buckbrush, but we just weren't getting bites. So I downsized even further. This bait here is the Strike King baby rage bug. Folks, this dude is tiny, and it is hard to pitch it. When you're used to pitching these heavier plastics, this dude's hard to pitch. So here's what you have to do to rig this. You downsize your hook, number one. I go from a 4/0 OWG katana hook to a 3/0 with this one, and it's still almost too big. And I put like a 5/8 tungsten weight, 1/4 ounce weight. If you're going to use a 1/4 ounce weight, you really need to use like a nail weight in it, also to really help make it heavier so you can pitch it. You got to adjust your reel. But when I downsized to this, I finally caught some fish. They were little. They were small. They were the kind that I launch over the boat in my signature hook set that flings them over the boat. But we were able to get some bites that day where it just wasn't working. So that is about the smallest I'll go. But that's a good tip for you. If you've tried all these other baits and you're just not getting bites, downsize as small as you can go. Downsize your hook, downsize your bait. Figure out some way that you can cast it without getting too big on your weight. So that's my tips for selecting your profile on your soft plastic creature baits. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Like it if you like it. We'll catch you next time.